Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Zoom at 8. My name is Julianne Peterson, and I am your host every Tuesday night. I am also a loan officer for Old Capital Lending. You know, we are a premier provider of debt. We are real specialists in multifamily, but if you're looking at something that is not multifamily, I'd also like to take a look at it. But I would really work towards becoming your lender of choice. So what I would be looking for is your T12, your rent roll, your OM, and your underwriting. You're going to put that all in. You're going to figure out what the insurance looks like. Pick up the phone, call your insurance guy or JT Lynch. Pick up the phone and call your taxes and your property manager. Get their numbers, get your assumptions to align. And when the numbers still make sense, that you're going to be ready to put in an LOI, that's when you and I need to talk. You're going to send me those financials and that information, and we're going to get some information back to you so you can make an educated decision on where does this LOI make sense. The reason why I wanted to get Brandon Wong on Zoom at 8 is because he is very knowledgeable of uh, automation and CRMs. And in this new community that we're in this new environment that we're in, we have to learn to capital raise, and it is the way of the future. So if you're brand new and this is not something that you feel comfortable with, oh no, someone else will capital raise on my team. I'm here to tell you that you too need to capital raise in your team, right? Because there's going to be somebody who's the acquisitions manager. There's going to be somebody who is the asset manager. There's going to be somebody who is the capital raiser. All three of you have to bring some money, and that can come from other people. So you need to have a way to keep track of your investors, your contacts, could be friends and family. So I got to know Brandon through, I was introduced to him actually by somebody who usually comes here, and thought that Brandon would be great for you guys to know. So tonight we've got Brandon Wong, who is the founder of Smart Syndicator, a consulting and marketing automation firm dedicated to helping apartment syndicators have less stress, grow their investor databases, automate and streamline their sales pipelines, and raise more money. He is also the founder of Guardian Multifamily, an investment firm that offers private multifamily value-add investments to investors. He and his team purchase in high growth markets to both maximize ROI and minimize risk while uplifting communities. He currently has $40 million under management in these multifamily spaces. He served in the Marine Corps. Thank you so much. Marine Corps Infantry from 2003 to 2011. 8 years of his life he gave up to serve us. Both he and his wife and children live in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. His passions outside his family and real estate are helping veterans start and grow their business. So tonight, I am so pleased for our guest, Brandon Wong, to join us and show us what he's put together on Smart Syndicator. And hopefully you guys will be encouraged to really reach out to Brandon and have him take you a deep dive into this product, and hopefully you'll find it helpful for your business. So Brandon, welcome to Zoom at 8. How are you tonight?
I'm good, Julie. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm so glad you're here. And again, thank you for your service. It's like no other. I was too I wasn't brave enough. So thank you for that.
Yeah, not a problem.
Before we get started, I do want everybody to give Brandon all of their attention. So go to the right-hand side of your screen. There's 6 or 8, 9 little boxes. Go to speaker view. Open that up. Go to speaker view, and there I am. Hey guys, But once Brandon takes over the mic, he's going to show us all of the information about Smart Syndicator. I'm excited. So, Brandon, have at it. We welcome you.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I appreciate that awesome introduction. And I'm glad you brought up the military stuff because that's actually where my real estate journey started. So in 2008 into 2009, I deployed to Iraq and I was on the battalion commander's personal security detail, so basically a glorified bodyguard. And a buddy of mine had gave me a copy of Rich Dad Poor Dad. He's like, dude, you need to read this. And I hadn't read much except for what I was forced to read in high school up to that point. But in between missions and going outside the wire from our base, I had time to work out and read. So I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and it was like my Matrix moment. It really woke me up. I was like, holy crap, I've been lied to for a really long time about, how to be successful in a capitalist country, relatively capitalist, I should say. Um, but that was my moment where it really altered the trajectory of, my path in life. And so I vowed as soon as I got back and I got out, I was going to jump into real estate investing with both feet. And so that's exactly what I did. I actually bought my first deal. I partnered up with another veteran actually, and we bought a foreclosure property at the auction in Las Vegas, which is where I was living at the time. And so that was an very interesting learning experience. No amount of coaching that you pay for will teach you as much as doing your first deal. And so I lost money on the first one. I lost about $5,000 between my partner and I, but it was
Not bad.
tuition. I wrote it off as tuition. And so I didn't let that stop me. I found a mentor, and my mentor at the time was in the single family space, and he had done over 200 subject to deals. So basically, like taking title to property subject to pre-foreclosure. And one day he got a call from a bank. He was working on a short sale, and they're like, "Hey, we're thinking of selling these notes before we actually take them to a short sale or a foreclosure. Are you interested in buying them?" And so, if a bank ever asked you that, the answer is yes. Because now at that point we had a bank contact where we could consistently buy product and at a very deep discount. Because I don't know if you follow the timing of that, 2008, 2009, the mortgage meltdown happened. And then all this inventory was in play, and all these banks had bad paper on their books. So we bought in 22 different states. That's where I really, really started to learn real estate investing, particularly at a distance, managing assets remotely. Because if you're buying in 22 states, you don't want to fly out to 22 states and check on these properties. So I really had to learn how to build teams. I learned a lot from my mentor, how to leverage those relationships, how to have checks and balances, and that's basically how I got started in real estate. Fast forward to uh, 2017, got involved in multifamily, started investing in passively in as an LP. And then fast forward a few more years, I started investing. I joined a couple of different teams as a GP. So that's how I got into as a general partner. And one of the biggest challenges I had on my first deal was actually raising the capital. So whenever you join or you build a team, oftentimes the first question out of somebody's mouth will be, how much money can you raise? And if you stutter and you don't really have a clear understanding or a clear answer of how engaged your database is with you, how much money is in there, then you're not really going to have a good answer. And that's not going to build confidence in your partners. And so part of the struggle was some of these people in my database I hadn't spoken to in 10 years. I've also None of them were really educated in multifamily. They had an interest in real estate investing, but they didn't understand the tax advantages. They didn't understand the business model in general. And so I spent a lot of time answering the same questions over and over and over, and I enjoyed teaching. So that's not a problem for me. But when you are under the gun and it's go time and you need to close soon, it's really stressful. And it's something that it's like having a kid. You can't understand the stress until you actually go through the process. And then it's really, once you close, it's really fulfilling. But I was like, there's got to be a better way to do this, rather than just smile and dial and call and text and just hope for the best. And we ended up closing We ended up oversubscribing the deal, but it was more stress than I wanted. So there are a couple of different elements as a syndicator that you want to have in place from at least from a marketing standpoint. Like I love talking operations, automation, that sort of thing, but the marketing is what we're going to focus on tonight. The in the marketing realm, you really have three pillars that you depend on. You've got your website, you have your social media presence and how you approach social media, and then you have your email campaigns. So you can supplement your email campaigns and sort of nestle text messaging campaigns under that. So that's why I consider it still three pillars. And so there's a lot of different technology out there. There's a lot of different ways about approaching things. And the uh like oftentimes the last thing you want is like another subscription that you want to pay for, another integration that you need to set up, another technology that you need to learn how to use, and then try to cobble everything else, like everything together to make everything talk. So what we've devised with our product Smart Syndicator is a way to combine all of these tools that you need with the exception of for instance, a cash flow portal or syndication pro where you actually sign subscription documents and collect investor capital. We don't handle that aspect of it. What our platform does is what's called top of funnel. So top of funnel means it's everything from a marketing standpoint of getting new investors into your database and educating them and engaging with them so that when it is time to close or it is time to raise capital, then you're ready to go and you have a clear understanding and you have certainty of close, which is super, super important both for the sake of your earnest money deposit and your reputation in the marketplace. So the let me go ahead and pull it up. Out of curiosity, if you have a CRM at the moment, if you could put that in the chat, that would be very helpful so I understand what technology you guys are kind of using at the moment. CRM, website, what you use for your calendar, um, what you use for your social media posting. Okay.
So let's everybody jump in, put in there what it is that you use. HubSpot, maybe, Active
Cool.
Campaign, Calendly,
REI.
GHL. What else? Anybody else have something that they're using? HubSpot, yep. High level. Okay.
Hmm.
All right. Anybody else? So we've got a lot of opportunity here. You need to have a database that keeps all of this information. How are you gonna
Hmm.
know that Joshua had a baby? You got to make sure that we know what's going on with our clients to keep that information and have that conversation going. So let's go ahead, keep going,
Right.
Brendan.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to kind of get an idea here. So we've got a couple of people using high level, active campaign, HubSpot. Those are kind of the answers what I usually get. So
Aha.
I'm
Smart
really glad.
syndicator. Smart syndicator. JJ uses it. That's awesome. Glad you're here.
So I'm really glad a couple people brought up high level because our product is built on top of high level. So if you understand the technology and the power behind that, what we've done is we've built a turbocharger essentially and put it on top of it for you. So let me share my screen with you, and I won't go through literally like everything that that it can do because that would take quite a while. What I will go over is the basically how we've designed on top of it. Smart Syndicator is a heavily customized version of GHL that comes with a mastermind and tech office hours every week. So I used to just send people to like GHL, like, hey, go sign up directly with it. They
And
would use it.
GHL, just let me interrupt, is go high
Go ahead.
level, everybody.
Correct. And it's an amazing platform if you're tech savvy and you can figure out how to leverage it. So what we've done is we've taken and created GHL just for syndicators from everything from the templates in the emails, the text message templates, the automations, everything is pre-built for you. And it comes in a nice, neat package that comes with training on how to actually use the parts of GHL that you need to understand to be able to raise capital. So it does about a million things, but to give you a no pun intended, a high level view of things.
Mhm.
It is a CRM that also includes your ClickFunnels, your Calendly, HubSpot, ActiveCampaign, Kajabi. If you've ever hosted training or if you sell any information product or training, it can host that. It can do the host your website as well as your landing pages. So just unlimited websites and landing pages. And it comes with website templates. So for people that are just sort of starting out but already have like a mentor and are getting started in this space, it can be daunting to come up with a lot of this content and develop all of this yourself. So what we've done is we've built this out for you. Just an example, if you're to come in here, it's all pretty much plug and play. You just need to change out images, text, but it is as is. It's built for multifamily syndicators. We have
So,
adapted this to other asset classes. Go ahead.
let me just jump in here for everybody to understand. This, as Brandon mentioned, you can go high level, but you would have to hire somebody to create this content for you. How do I know that? Because I am a go high level person that has REI automation similar to this. They use the same back off the, the
Mhm.
backstop of it, go high level, but I had to hire people to do this. What Brandon is saying is he has put these templates in place. When you use his software, this is what you get. So, and by the
Right.
way, CRM stands for customer relationship management, right? Is that the exact
Right.
what CRM
Hmm.
stands for? So that's going to be all of the people that all of their birthdays, their addresses will be put into that portion of this software. So that's where it says
Right.
contacts. That's where you would put that information. All right, carry on.
And then what we've done is we built out the sales pipeline. So all the steps, and this is proven and tested, multiple capital raises, that these are the steps that you essentially go through. And we've automated for a large part these first four, this one, this one, this one, and this one, to where they're tied to workflows. So as soon as you get an LOI accepted and you input, we've got about 80 to 90 custom values that are already built in there. You just put your deal, you pull up your underwriting, you put all your deal details in there. It will push it out to all of the text message templates, all the email templates, so that you don't have to manually do all that work. Now, we do recommend that you go in and tighten things up because every deal is a little bit different, and the value proposition of your specific deal might be different than what we have in here. But what we've tried to do is take about 90% of the work and take care of all the technical aspect of it, and then train you in how to do the remaining 10%. That is the unique value proposition of the way we've designed this. So we've built out the pipeline. Um, the emails, there's a pretty robust template library in here for you to grab your investor education series, or to send educational emails to your investors. As you can see, some of the topics, what is real estate syndication, defining basic terms like ROI, COC, IRR, that sort of thing. And you can come in and edit them and then just send them right off. So within 5 minutes of using our system, you can already have your first email out. You don't have
So,
to really think about what you're going to write. Go ahead.
so let me jump in here. So, guys and gals, think about this. You have a new client. You're introducing them to multifamily. They don't know much. You put them in the CRM and it starts to automate sending them information on a drip campaign. That's what is happening here. Can you imagine having to write all of this out for every email? These templates are made for you. You're going to put your little information in them, but for the most part, these are all set up. So client comes to you, you put them in the CRM, and then they start sending these out on a regular basis. They open them,
Hmm.
now it's engaged. Now we send them another one, and it goes on. It's amazing. Keep going, Brandon.
And I'm a firm believer in always raising capital. So just how you in sales, you're practicing your ABCs, always be closing, you should always be raising capital. So even before you have an LOI accepted on a property, we have a text message sequence that you send out to your entire database. But before you even send that out, what my team and I will do is help you consolidate and clean your database. So we remove all the bad emails, all the bad text messages, because that way your emails don't end up in the spam box. Our open rate is typically between 40 and 60%, and our deliverability rate is north of 98%.
So,
Typically it's around, go ahead.
Brandon, tell us about how that competes with some of the other products, because to me, that's a high open rate. But if you don't know what a high open rate means, tell us what that compares to on some of the other products out there.
Yep, I want to say there's a study done on just the real estate industry in general, and it was about 30%, 20
Okay.
to 30% open rate. Um, And I'm not saying this is like the only way to do this because I've seen the same or similar open rates on Active Campaign and other platforms. What we try to do is help you maximize that and make sure your database is really clean before you start sending stuff out because your domain reputation, believe it or not, has like a score that's assigned to it. And if people keep marketing it as spam or you're sending to bad emails that are bouncing and they're bouncing back to you, if that happens too much, then you will have a lower reputation score and you're more likely to end up in the spam box. And it's really hard to get out of that, to back out of that. So we try
Perfect.
to get you started on the right foot from day one with your domain. So emails are coming from your domain. So it's all branded with your info. You get your own phone number with your own area code. We help you set all that stuff up on our onboarding call. And all the text messages go back and forth inside of the system. So we have a mobile app. It's called the Smart Syndicator mobile app, where you can interact with all of your investors and be raising capital while you're on the beach. I know this because I've traveled and raised capital at the same time, and an incredible feature to have if you're in a high stress situation and you are busy and you're traveling or you're picking up the kids, and you have a busy day-to-day life. Having the ability to do it from your phone is invaluable. So let's see. Let me go over to it. So we went over the sites. We went over some of the marketing and email templates. Automations we've pre-built. So let's say you have your first deal under contract. All of your emails in sequence here are already set up, and all of your automations are already set up. So you've got your initial outreach. You can send additional details for the people that do request more information on your deal. And that's a very key nuanced piece to this because what I see new people do is they'll get the power of text message and then they will hammer their database. They will text, 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 whether or not someone says yes or no, I'm interested or not. And I think that's a mistake because those people will start to get pissed at you. They will block you or they'll mark it as spam, and then you can't text them anymore. So that's uh that's why we try to make sure that people are following best procedures from the very beginning. If you hold a webinar, most syndicators do a webinar. There's a full sequence to support that, so you're not starting that from scratch. And once you've actually closed, then we have a automation to basically clean everything out so that you can start over fresh for your next capital raise.
So I want to
Mhm.
pause there.
Mhm.
Um, Priya asks, you said this works with cash flow portal. Do I
Mhm.
need it if I invest in this? Does she need cash flow portal in addition to this in your smart syndicator software? Kind of clarify that.
So you don't need to use Cashflow Portal or Syndication Pro. It is just highly, highly recommended because you don't want to be using DocuSign necessarily to just handle back and forth documentation and keeping track of that. It gives investors the ability to log in and look at their distributions and get their K1s and all that stuff. So you don't need it. It's just really, really nice to have that in addition. This does not replace those softwares, if that makes sense.
That
It is
that
a
makes a
it
lot of
is a
sense.
it is a bolt-on
Okay.
product to help you drive
So,
traffic.
Brandon, the
Mhm.
data would be so the CRM, the master data would reside in Smart Syndicator or Cash Flow Portal. Like, where would be the
Mhm.
data? I understand this is going to sit
Right.
on top of Cash Flow.
The
So,
best
where
way,
would the data reside?
so you're, correct me if I'm wrong, you're just wanting to know between the two systems, where is the data sitting? Like, where does it live? Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah.
So the way I like to describe it is Smart Syndicator is where people go before they're ready to invest. As soon as you get them ready to invest, they get an email from Smart
Haha.
Syndicator with a link that helps them register
Okay.
for a portal inside your portal.
There you go.
And that's the workflow. So everything that we've
Understood. Okay. So this
designed,
is the funnel, and that's the main where you want your investors. Okay. Got
correct.
it.
So it's not customer facing in the way that your investors do not know that you're using Smart Syndicator, but they will log
Okay.
into Cashflow Portal. So they work amazing together.
And
Perry's a great guy. Go
Hmm.
ahead. What were we gonna say?
yeah,
Did you
so
have a
one
question?
last question. So cash flow
Mhm,
portal, sorry. So this is for attracting new investors, but in terms of
mhm.
just maintaining that relationship, would it still do that, or would we need to depend on the cash flow portal?
So any marketing emails you send out will come through Smart Syndicator. Any deal updates, like if they're an actual investor in your deal, those will come
Yeah,
from Cashflow Portal.
So cash
understood.
flow portal is going to have your
Yeah.
PPM, your subscription agreements. You're going to have your
Mhm.
K1s come out of there. So you wouldn't have your K1s and any of that other paperwork because that's really you want to keep it secure, right? So that
Mhm.
would be in the portal. You would drive them to that. A lot of in multifamily, and you'll see it in other types of industries that there's bolt-ons, different softwares bolt onto the main frame, if you will. It's just the software. So um, what I like about the Smart Syndicator is that you can build your website here, guys. You can have the CRM, you can have the automation, you can have all of the templates in it. And it's all in one place. You don't have to bolt on a bunch of the stuff and cause you to pay for each of those. And you can send out
Yeah.
emails directly. All of your communication goes through here. Instead of having a Outlook and a Google, you could communicate through this vehicle. Is that right, Brandon?
Right. It's right. And it keeps all that communication consolidated and you have timestamped records of everything. Just in case you're ever audited by the SEC, you could basically just be like, here's my login, what do you look up what you need to look up. And one thing that is unique to Smart Syndicate, I don't know of anybody else doing this, is there's this QR code that we set up for you during your onboarding. And I don't know if you've ever gone to a networking event and you've come home with like 30 business cards and you're just dreading the idea of inputting all that stuff into your system. This QR code will capture their contact information, input it directly into your database, send them a text message with your information, and then send them a follow-up text in like 2 days by default. Hey, it was great meeting you at the event. Would you like to set up a Zoom call with your Zoom, and it'll include your calendar link. So it automates that whole process of following up with people that you meet at a conference. So that was something I've been beta testing for a long time, but it makes life a lot easier. Occasionally you'll get like 1 in 100 will be like, I'm not filling that out, but it's for those, I just get their business card or I just don't connect with them. And I just give it to my ops manager to have her input it. So that's just something that's very unique about Smart Syndicator is it makes that whole process automated. And then just the last thing I wanted to share today was the S2 Academy. So every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Central, we have a private mastermind call with just the users on the platform, people that are moving and shaking and doing deals. We have a private mastermind where we bring in a subject matter expert in some area of marketing, operations, or finance, and we have them give a class. And we all of those are recorded, so we've got over 70 hours of content in here. Some of the classes I teach myself. I didn't mention this because I didn't want to talk too much in the beginning about myself, but I used to own a marketing agency where we would generate tens of thousands of leads online using paid advertising in the mortgage and real estate space. And so that is what I do is I bring that knowledge and that experience to you guys, but for syndication and for raising capital. So we teach you how to run Facebook ads if you want to run ads for your company. Generated hundreds of leads in for accredited investors that way. We bring in sales experts. So I don't know if you know Keely Hubbard. She's an
Absolutely.
amazing sales training coach, and she syndicates vineyards. She's the first person I've ever met that syndicates vineyards in Texas of all places. I'm like, not in California.
Yeah. Crazy.
But we've got a ton of great content in here. This isn't like the main thing. It's just to help people that want to optimize their business. They want to learn and want to take things to the next, the next level with what they're doing. So that's part of it. And then Thursday, we do a tech office hours call. So if you ever have tech questions or you have a strategy that you'd love to implement and try out, I'm available to you for that hour for that tech office hours in a group setting. And some people just show up to network and just talk to the other syndicators and learn something. They're just observers. And that's something that we do every Thursday at 4 p.m. Central. So there's
Love it.
two opportunities to connect, in addition to all the technology that we've gone over today. So, do you guys have any questions?
Yeah, let's open it up to the group. I think I did see some questions. Of course, everybody wants to know, how much does something like this cost?
Mhm. That's a great question. Um, we have two different pricing models. There's the monthly and the annual subscription. The monthly, it's a one-time $1,000 setup fee, and then it is $297 a month. Now, there is what we do is in that 297, we include a $30 credit towards your text messaging, your emailing, and there's some internal integrations that you can use that there's a very small nominal billing associated with that. If you exceed that $30 credit, so if you're emailing or texting like hundreds of thousands of people, then there is a small variable cost associated with that, and it's fully disclosed on our primary website, smartsyndicator.com. If you go down to the pricing, and then there's a little link under it that talks about the rebilling for any additional fees. And then we have an annual membership. It's $29.70 per year. And the setup is included with that. So you get 2 months free and it includes the setup.
Fantastic. I mean, again, I want to tell everybody, I bought this, not the Smart Syndicator, but the REI automations, and I'm paying $100 and it is garbage. So this is the way to go. It's all put together for you. There are other platforms out there that are charging thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Here, this comparison is amazing. And I will tell you, you're going to be paying if you are putting these, onto active campaign, you're going to be charged for each of these add-on. This has everything you need. It is truly amazing. The templates are incredible. Again, you'd be going out and telling a VA or somebody who's a content writer everything that you want to say. That's cost money and time to do all that. It's all packaged here for you. So those of you who want to kind of a plug and play, this is the way to do it. Again, there's other companies out there charging thousands of dollars, and then you hire these they open up their contacts that do this, and then you pay them. Again, all done for you. I'm just so excited about Brandon being here and sharing this. All right, what other questions? I think I saw one. There was a question about the pricing. Was there any other information you wanted to share? I know I interrupted you. So was there anything
Oh, you're
else
good.
about that?
Um, it includes if you have a bona fide business partner, you
Ah,
can have
yes.
a second login for them. Because typically you have like a front end person and a back end person. You can have an additional login for your back end person. And you can have a third login if you have a virtual assistant that needs access to be able to post to your social media. We didn't talk too much about that, but there is a social media planner in there that integrates with Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and a couple of other platforms, Twitter, TikTok, that you can take one post generated through AI. There's AI built directly into it to create your posts, and then you can push them out to all these platforms at once with just one click, rather than going and manually posting to each of the platforms. So there was a technology called Hootsuite a while back that I used to use that would do that for me, but that was just another subscription I was able to get rid of by switching.
Yeah, Calendly is $159 a month. I'm sorry, a year. That goes away, you guys. You got a HubSpot. That's another what? Thousands of dollars. All right. How about this website? You can create the website for us using with having a subscription. Is that correct?
There is a website template that is included.
Okay.
If you would like to have my team uh, custom build something for you, that we could talk about that separately. That would not be included.
Okay. But it has
But
you've got a template, so that's
mhm,
great. What about talk to us about I know that you kind of touched on this, but for those of you that don't know about sending out lots and lots of emails, they want to make sure that you're vetted. So can you go a little bit deeper into
mhm,
that so that people
yeah,
understand how that works? Because a lot of times,
mhm,
if you are new to my community here, it'll go into your spam. So
mhm.
kind of walk us through that.
Yeah, that's a great question because both your texting and emailing, it's in today's market, it's getting more challenging to send things. And that's by design
Mhm.
because the telecommunications companies were getting a ton of complaints about spam and with the FTC, and they're like, we need to do something about this. So literally now you have to do what's called ATP registration, which the process can take between, I've seen it done in 30 minutes, like it was completed. And I've seen other times it take 2 to 3 weeks. It just depends on how well your business is set up because they want to verify your company name, your EIN number. They want to have a point of contact, and they basically manually review all that information before they will let you send the first text message. And that's not just Smart Syndicator, that's any platform that's sending text messages. If you're not ATP registered, you cannot send. So there's a verification process to that. And I'm glad you brought that up because some people are like, what? I have to wait this long to send text messages? It just depends on how well you're set up. The more your company, the more professional your company is set up in the first place, the easier that process is. Like if you already got a brand, you've already got a domain name, that sort of thing. If you have a WordPress site, you can migrate it into Smart Syndicator. There is a small additional fee for that on a monthly basis, but you can host it in there, or you could just use the templates that we've provided you to build your website that way, which is probably the recommended way because it's all directly integrated. So anyone who goes to your site, fills out your form, you capture all their info and it's off to the races.
Fantastic. All right. Any other questions? I've been doing a lot of talking. Brandon's been doing a lot of talking. Who else has a question? It's good.
Hey, Julie, just a quick question. Is it loaded with any lead magnets in there to help you acquire new potential leads?
There's not, but we have training on how to build them with ChatGPT really, really quickly.
Okay,
So
perfect. Thank you.
the reason I do that is because everybody's lead magnet should be a little bit different. I don't want everybody sending out the same lead magnet. But it's a quite a simple process to actually get, a good 30 or 40 page ebook built with ChatGPT. That was actually
Fantastic.
the topic today on today's mastermind call is we're teaching, I brought in an expert on AI to show us how to actually build and train the model for what it is we're trying to do and how to feed it the right information to build emails, Facebook posts, that sort of thing.
Fantastic. And I'm sure a lot of that is new and developing and changing on a weekly
Mhm.
basis. So, all right, JR, what's your question?
Yeah, so if you have, let's say, for example, multiple projects going on, is this something that could be handled by the websites or the multiple websites that you're talking about?
I'm sorry, I missed the first part of the question. I'm sorry, could you repeat?
So if you have multiple projects going on,
Mhm.
would your platform be able to handle all of those if you market it?
So it's designed to raise capital for one deal at a time, but that's not stopping you from creating, basically duplicating internally some of the processes and raising capital on a second deal. In fact, I don't know if you guys know Sean Griffith, but he raises capital for multifamily, for oil and gas, and some other asset classes. And so he's doing that all through the same platform.
Great. Good answer.
And
Did that
one,
answer your
go ahead.
question, JR?
Yeah. So it's only
Okay.
one project at a
Mhm.
time, basically.
Well, no,
It's designed for that, but you can
yeah,
do more.
perfect.
So just to add on to that question, I apologize. Would you be able to create multiple different funnels then? Is that how
Mhm.
you would do it? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we've actually built a deal landing page in there, just a template that you can use to start putting out, what are the returns, what is the business plan? And we've had users just take that and build it into what they need for theirs. Once they understood how to actually edit things and save them, you know, it's a and that's something that's what those tech office hours are for, because a lot of times that's where people fall down, is just those little details. And they're like, dude, this is taking me forever. Someone just show me.
Yeah,
And so that's how that's what those are for.
perfect. Adriana,
Yes. Hello, Brandon. Thank you. So
Yeah.
question is on the texting side, do you guys charge for incoming texts and outgoing text both ways? Or
Mhm.
there's just a charge a month and with up to certain charge, up to certain text a month? Or
good question.
That's a good question. The answer is yes. The carrier that we use, Twilio, which powers the back end of this, they charge a different price for incoming versus outgoing. And they charge per segment. So a segment, I believe, is 140 characters or 120 characters. So if you send like a giant text message out, which is why we don't recommend sending like a big marketing text, we keep them short and concise. You will get charged a couple of times for that really long text. But as I had brought up earlier, but the $30 of the 297 is a credit to cover things like that. So if you're not actively like pushing out tens of thousands of emails, you won't notice, that you won't really get charged.
Yeah, makes sense. All right.
Thank you.
Let's say JJ Hadley, can you give us your overview? You've been using this for a while. What made your decision to come over and use Smart
Right. So
Syndicator?
we were
Love to
using
hear.
a marketing 360 out of Colorado, and we switched over to Smart Syndicator about a year ago. And the automation, we love automation in our company, and just the automation from like Brandon was explaining, when you go to a conference, the QR code, we set up workflows where they scan that, it sends them a text message, it goes right into our workflow, it adds them to our database, into our contacts. Our VA takes it from there and builds the social media to build the campaigns that way, send out the emails, the text messages, everything's just automated. We've got ebooks out there, like they were talking about lead magnets. Brandon helped us set up a landing page on our website. They're very good to work with. Anytime we have a problem, the chat's always available. If they can't do it, like Brandon said, on Thursdays, they've got that he's given this hour up every Thursday to meet and take care of the problem. So the customer service is great, and I can't say enough about it. I'm a part of the mastermind every Tuesday morning at 9, like he was saying, and he has some really good speakers on there. So just that alone, the mastermind, I've learned a lot, and it's definitely changed the course of our business on the automation side, and we love using the program.
What a testimony. That is fantastic. And, so many of us are conscientious of the money that it costs to run our businesses. Some of us are doing this as a part-time job, and to put effort into putting this all together could be, you might not start for another 2 years. That's what I like about this product. Again, it's like a plug and play. You do tweaks here and there, but for the most part, you're up and running. And in a time like this, when we know that there's deals that are going to be coming fairly quickly, you're going to need something that you can get up and running and get your name out there that you are a capital raiser and you are building these relationships. So I highly recommend you get a hold of Brandon. Brandon, how does somebody get a hold of you to have a conversation to get started on this amazing product?
Yeah, absolutely. If you're ready to sign up today, you'll go to smartsyndicator.com and you'll click on enroll today, and it'll take you through our onboarding process. Well, you'll book an onboarding call. We'll basically get on a Zoom for about an hour, configure your system, and I'll educate you and kind of walk you through what pieces of the platform you're going to be using and introduce you to the training and that sort of thing. If you would like to book a call and ask some questions and kind of figure some things out, there's a book a call link on the upper right corner of the website. If you click on that, it'll take you to my calendar, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
Fantastic. Once again, Brandon, thank you so much for introducing our audience to this great product. And I'm hoping that this inspires our audiences here to jump on a call or just sign up, get going, get moving, make the decision.